The Grand Grimoire, aka the Red Dragon. Imagine the occult equivalent of a get-rich-quick scheme. Written in 18th century France, the Grand Grimoire claimed it could let you summon Lucifer himself. Yep, not just a demon, not a middle manager, the devil. Supposedly, the book taught you how to strike deals for wealth, power, or influence in exchange for your soul. The text is wild because it blends Catholic prayers with instructions for bargaining with hell, as if someone mashed together the Bible and a business contract. Was it a real working manual? Probably not, but its reputation alone made it infamous. Whispered about in Europe, banned by the church, and later nicknamed the Red Dragon to spice up its myth. Today, it's basically the occult's boogeyman handbook. Grimorium Verum, the true grimoire. If the Grand Grimoire was flashy, the Grimorium Verum was blunt. It doesn't bother with lofty philosophy. Instead, it's like, here's how to call a demon, bind him, and make him work for you. Straightforward and almost businesslike, which somehow makes it creepier. It catalogs demons, their powers, and sigils, but also how to force them to obey. Scholars date it to 18th century Italy or France, and it became notorious for its practical, almost how-to tone. Think of it like a demonic IKEA manual, except instead of building a bookshelf, you're building a pact with something that can ruin your life. The Book of Leviathan. This 15th century German text isn't always classified as satanic, but it earns a spot here because of its reputation. The Book of Leviathan describes a long, grueling ritual, months of prayer, fasting, and purity, to contact your holy guardian angel. But here's the catch. If you don't succeed, you end up summoning and unleashing demons instead. That razor's edge between divine illumination and demonic chaos fascinated occultists for centuries. Aleister Crowley tried it himself and claimed wild results. Some even call it the spiritual Everest. Climb it right, you're enlightened. Slip and you're haunted for life. The Lesser Key of Solomon, Goetia. Now we're at the Celebrity Grimoire. The Goetia, part of the Lesser Key of Solomon, is essentially the Pokemon guidebook of demons. It lists 72, each with a name, rank, powers, and a sigil. Want treasure? Call on Boer. Want knowledge? Ask Paimon. Want chaos? There's a demon for that too. Its influence is massive. From Renaissance magicians to modern horror movies, the Goetia shaped how pop culture imagines demons. It's less about worshipping Satan and more about control. The magician summons, binds, and commands. Of course, whether that's possible or just a power trip on paper is another story. The Black Pullet. This one reads like Napoleon fanfiction. The Black Pullet supposedly comes from a French officer in Napoleon's Egyptian campaign. He claimed a dying Turkish magician gave him the book, which reveals secrets of talismans that could grant wealth, invisibility, and even control over destiny. It's less about demons and more about magical gadgets, but because it promises forbidden power and exotic secrets, it got lumped into the Satanic Grimoire pile. Honestly, it feels like a 19th century scam novel, but people bought it because who wouldn't want a magical chicken that lays golden eggs? The Book of Honorius. If grimoires were rated by controversy, the Book of Honorius would be near the top. Supposedly written by Pope Honorius III, though almost certainly forged centuries later, it mixes Catholic prayers with demonic invocations. Yes, a pope supposedly wrote a demon summoning guide, which is why the church tried to erase it. The book claimed a properly trained priest could summon and command spirits at will. Critics called it blasphemy. Believers whispered it was the church's dark secret. Either way, its hybrid of Christian liturgy and satanic conjuring cemented its reputation as one of the most forbidden texts in Europe. The Book of Leviathan, Anton LaVey. Fast forward to the 20th century. In 1969, Anton LaVey publishes the Satanic Bible, and inside it is the Book of Leviathan. Unlike the older grimoires, this isn't about literal demons crawling out of the ground. LaVey's grimoire is ritual theater, psychology, and symbolism, using drama and imagery to tap into your subconscious power. For LaVeyan Satanists, it's about empowerment, rejecting hypocrisy, and embracing carnal existence. No actual pacts with Lucifer here, just a rebellious, modern spin on what a satanic grimoire could mean in the age of rock and roll. The Codex Gigas, the Devil's Bible. Finally, the Codex Gigas, the largest surviving medieval manuscript created in the 13th century. Legend says a monk broke his vows and, to save himself, promised to write the world's biggest book in one night. When he realized it was impossible, he summoned the devil for help. The result? The Codex Gigas, complete with a massive, full-page illustration of the devil himself. In reality, it's a mix of Bible texts, history, and random notes, but that creepy devil illustration gave it the nickname the Devil's Bible. It's not satanic in content, but its legend has kept it in the same dark category for centuries.